Anyone who's been involved with the military knows that a successful mission doesn't just happen. It requires leadership, thoughtful planning, adequate resources, and accurate intelligence. There must also be a unified commitment to the mission. For those who have served in the military, the planning and operational process is driven by a mission order, also known as an operations order. A standardized 5-paragraph format is used by most U.S. military forces: situation, mission, execution, sustainment, and command and control. Whether you were a soldier, sailor, Marine, airman, or Coast Guardsman, at some point, regardless of rank, you have been part of an operations order. This planning structure was designed to achieve success, save lives and resources, and prevent disorder, even under difficult conditions. It has stood the test of time. Each year, tens of thousands of veterans transition back to their families and communities. Many have specific goals in mind, and with appropriate support, they make the transition smoothly. Others, however, return home without a clear mission. Some also have the baggage of difficult military experiences. These include the influences of post-traumatic stress, traumatic brain injury, and physical impairments. These and other damaging influences can make the transition difficult, or in some cases overwhelming. Without a good plan and adequate support, the stress of reintegration becomes more than some can bear. For a growing number of returning veterans, becoming engaged in agricultural production has provided them with a new operations order for their next mission. They have learned to grow healthy food, nurture livestock, and market the fruits of their labor. Agriculture has become a pathway from their difficult past experiences to becoming contributors to the prosperity, health, and sustainability of their communities.
I think farming is a great option for veterans because we're not afraid of hard work and we won't quit. Farming is incredibly difficult. I just think it's a good fit because coming back from all that trauma and loss, and there's something very grounding and therapeutic about working the earth sustainably. It's good, meaningful work, and it's also the next mission.
As military veterans, we're always looking for that next mission. And with farming, I think that mission is to provide healthy food to our communities. So I think farming is a way to reconnect with something positive in yourself. It's a chance to plant that seed, hatch that egg and see something, new life come out of that. And it provides healing and also an opportunity to really kind of push outside yourself. And I think it's just a positive experience, but yet it's also challenging. It keeps you kind of moving, getting out of bed every single day. A lot of people with PTSD and some issues coming out, it's really hard to kind of get that motivation every day to get up, get moving, and with farming, you have to do it.
The farmer veterans you're about to hear from have successfully applied many of the principles of an operations order to help them achieve their next mission. Instead of using military force, they have captured the forces of the sun, air, soil, and rain to achieve greater health and security for those around them.
From 2003 to 2007, I served in the Marines as an infantryman, deployed 3 times. I went to Haiti in 2004 on a humanitarian mission, and then twice to Iraq between 2005 and 2006. I had 2 traumatic brain injuries in 14 hours and a number of physical issues as well. When I got out of the service, I was only 22 years old and had a lot of difficulties reintegrating.
I first started the farm in 2012 after moving here from Florida. I had previously been a nurse, both civilian and in the military. I actually served in the Air Force between 2004 and 2006 and was deployed between 2005 and 2006. I had a lot of issues when I came home. I had struggled with PTSD from some of my experiences and really had a hard time connecting with people again and with basically connecting with life again. I really didn't get started in farming until after my husband, who was also in the military, was diagnosed with colon cancer. And at that time, we started looking at diet and how our food was grown and looking at the importance of nutrition in our lives. And at that time, we started going and visiting local farms where we were at and buying local food and buying organic food and really looking at improving our diet.
I did 9 years active duty regular Army in Fort Hood and did 2 tours to Iraq, one in 04 to 05 and then again in 06 through 08, both times in Baghdad. I got back that year in 08 and was having some difficulties with TBI and a lot of the explosions that we were in. So just in an effort to fix my system, I was eating healthier, learning about organics. So I tilled up my backyard, I got into gardening and absolutely fell in love with it. It was everything I needed. It was physical therapy, it was mental therapy, I was learning something new every day.
So I'm a Desert Storm veteran. After Desert Storm, spent a total time of 11 years in the U.S. Army and got out with PTSD and all those things that soldiers have when they leave combat and stressful situations like that. And getting back into farming is actually what started my healing process. So actually dealing with the cycle of life and death and how those things occur in our food cycle is something that we're very familiar with in the military. So getting back into that cycle of life and actually getting my hands into it and having some control over how life and death works here and the management of our animals and the life cycle of our animals was our healing process. Helps me every day.
Determining what the next mission is for a transitioning service member may be the most difficult task. The who, what, where, and why of the mission may take research, study, trial and error, or a circuitous route.
Unfortunately, in 2011, my husband died, and at that time, I had to figure out really how to start a new life. And the one thing that kept popping up during that time was, go and farm, go and farm.
Yeah, I was learning something new every day. I was my own boss. I made my own hours. I could work as long as I needed to. I was doing all that while going to school, and we were like, well, why don't we sell to restaurants? We went ahead and just ramped up, tore up our yards, tilled every space we could available, and started Eat the Yard, which is our for-profit entity. And it was just great, meaningful work and work that we were very passionate about. So the benefits are I love what I do.
And I remember when I took my shoes off, I went into the garden and I just started digging trenches and piling up the soil to make a raised bed. And it's just like there was something in me that clicked and everything made sense. And what I was feeling emotionally didn't matter. My experience prior to that didn't matter. It's just what mattered was being right there with that soil and that spade and just kind of forming these beds to grow vegetables in. And for me, being in the fields was my reintegration, because I didn't get that from humans. For me, working with the plants, working with the trees and going outside is what brought me home. My wife and my kids and my animals, they were reasons to want to get better, to feel okay in my skin. And it's really the plant community that helped me do that.
Well, we started with cattle as our first production model or revenue stream for the farm because it was the easiest one to do and I didn't have to be here every day. So we needed to put up good fencing, and then every other day we could come out, check on our animals. We knew how much feed we needed to have here, how much hay we needed. Knew how much grass we had. That was the first revenue stream. And now they're building our house. As soon as our house is done, we have freshwater mussels going in, we have rabbits, we have chickens, we have goats, we have a greenhouse going in. All of it completely sustainable and off the grid.
It's not easy in the beginning, given that we were doing a lot of smaller plots. It was a lot of driving around and with minimal personnel and just starting out and establishing yourself in the community as far as, you know, what your market is and getting to know the chefs, if it's the chefs, or getting into the farmer's market and learning all that stuff. It's incredibly difficult, and the growing itself, you know, just the day-to-day, depending on your injuries and what you're struggling with, it can be a huge challenge. But just not having the know-how, I mean, if you don't have experience and you are truly just starting out as a beginning farmer, I mean, we learned through so much trial and error and crop losses and pests, and it's just, it can get discouraging, but I think that's why veterans are a good fit for farming. I mean, we don't quit, we never give up, so.
In January of 2012, I took the plunge and moved here to Indiana and started out that spring buying my 5 chickens from Tractor Supply at the Chick Days, and it's kind of how it all began. It all just kind of snowballed from there. I started buying fruit trees, I started planting gardens, and really became addicted to chickens and to poultry. And now we have over 1,000 chickens, turkeys, and ducks, and I absolutely love them. They have fantastic personalities, but really found that getting my hands in the dirt and working with animals and seeing life come back again was just really healing and very, very powerful. In farming, people love to work together. I think they love to help each other, and it's really important to build that community, just like in the military. You know, we relied on each other so much. You know, it's all about taking care of your brother and helping each other, you know, through whatever you're going through. And in farming, it's the same way. And there's a lot of people that want to help, so don't do it alone.
And I ended up linking up with people with AgrAbility, and that has been really wonderful because that's not just working with veterans, that's working with people who have disability, all types of disabilities, and they all have different types of backgrounds and they're all farming different things. And that is amazing to me that this project has gotten people to continue their livelihood how it was before. And I, you know, am very honored to be able to work in the fields and knowing that there are all these groups and organizations who are working every day to make efforts to see to it that people can farm, but that veterans can farm.
They've been a great help to us. Ag Extension Agency and AgrAbility have provided us a lot of physical resources that we didn't understand, things that we needed to know to grow better crops. And over the last 8 years of owning the farm, we've learned a lot of things.
I'm in the process of developing a veterans regenerative agricultural program to teach them different methods of farming, whether it's a mushroom operation or it's, you know, larger scale hugelculture operations or rotational grazing, whatever it is, to have them be involved with these different methods of farming or gardening that they can then apply or adapt to their own site. Also act as kind of like, not primarily, but, you know, a horticultural therapy program as well within that.
We started FARM, which is Farmers Assisting Returning Military, and it's our nonprofit where we do outreach to at-risk veterans, whether it's at risk of suicide, homelessness, or dependency. We bring them in and put them through dirt therapy, recreational therapy, And we now actually have in-house therapy through trauma resolution and memory resolution on site at the farm. So they work together on the farm, they go out on hiking, biking, camping, fishing trips, whatever it is, together, and they go through that therapy process together here at the farm. We structure it, we're trying to structure it as an internship so they hit educational benchmarks and we can help them either seek a career in farming, or our hope is they'll start their own farm, and we help them through that process as well, whether it's helping them with the business plan or just good old-fashioned pulling everybody together and barn raising at their site, chicken coops, tractors, fencing, whatever it is.
One of the things that we're going to do on our farm is allow veterans to come here to work on the farm for just to heal. So gaining access to that and giving other veterans the ability to create a farm and a place where they can come heal and relax and release all of that stress in those times when they're really stressed out and really freaked out about things going on that they won't talk about to anyone other than a veteran. The farm is a great place to do that.
It is also important to realize that veterans with all types of functional limitations can participate in agriculture. With the right technology and assistance from groups like AgrAbility, the VA, and state vocational rehabilitation systems, what seems unreachable can become attainable.
By trade, I'm an electrician, but then I became disabled, so I went back to my old natural roots and my love of farming and gardening. So now I am raising poultry. And with the help of AgrAbility, I've been able to get resources and find ways to make my disability, which is transverse myelitis, which is an inflammation of the spinal cord, to make my life and daily activities go a lot simpler. Now I can find things to help me move things with ease. But the challenges that I face is pain, which I just live every day with, and it's just through the grace of God and just being able to live to see another day. Mobility, sensitivity, picking up heavy objects. So I've learned to use aids in lifting, tools. You learn to adapt. You learn to take things that you took for granted and you just make them simple by diversifying. I would say to any farmer that has not experienced AgrAbility, you need to get up, open your eyes, and take a look. AgrAbility has helped every farmer that I have spoken to tremendously and make them all smile and proud. So if you haven't seen AgrAbility, put a smile on your face. All those negatives you said that you can't do, through AgrAbility and with a little will of you, you'll be able to go a long way.
War has never been a pleasant undertaking, but having a good operations order can reduce losses in operations both large and small. In the same way, an agricultural operation can potentially save the lives and well-being of many returning veterans and give them the opportunity to contribute to the health and well-being of their communities. For more information on veterans in agriculture or farming with a disability, call 800-825-4264 or visit www.agrability.org, where you can find contact information for state AgrAbility projects and other resources.